Back on the Young Turks, I'm your host, Cenk Uygur. Now we've got an awesome interview for you guys. Russell Simmons, of course, the creator of Def Jam Recordings in 1984. He's now the founder of GlobalGrind.com. He's the author of Super Rich, A Guide to Having It All. Russell, great pleasure to have you on the Young Turks.
It's my pleasure to be on the Young Turks.
All right, and I like that we're Skyping in with you. There you are. Okay. All right, first, I got to talk to you about something that's in the news. You recently interviewed Roger Ailes of Fox News Channel, which is fascinating. First, how'd that interview come about?
Well, I wrote the book because the first book had Oprah made such a big deal of it, and people said it changed their lives. And then after that, I felt, obligated. The first one, I think, was actually just trying to get all the teachings and putting them simple so people to understand them. And then the second book, Super Rich, comes because I just felt obligated since, people told me to change their lives. I felt it would be a kind of a good offering. The first one was a little bit selfish, I got to, add. But once she made it, legitimate and she made it a bestseller, it kind of made me feel that the teachings people were thirsting for them. And if I could simplify them and give them, then it would be like a good piece of karma.
Right. Russell, I want to get back to the book in a second, but I was saying that you did an interview with Roger Ailes of Fox News recently on Global Grind. Yeah, how'd that come about? That's a fascinating combination of people.
Well, I don't know. I like all kinds of people. I don't think just because I'm far. I told him I was far to the left of Keith Olbermann or President Obama, and he told me I had to be really skinny to get there. That the wall was right beside President Obama, and I think of President Obama as a moderate. So, but we've always had these dialogues where, he's a pretty conservative guy. I guess he accepts that, and I know that I'm somewhere to the left of Dennis Kucinich somewhere. So
good for you.
But I like the guy very much.
Yeah. I don't know him personally, so, I can't say that I dislike him. And I think he's brilliant. There's no question about that. But I'm with you. I think Obama is definitely moderate. There's a lot of room between him and the progressive wall. But, Ailes said that about the shootings, when you talked to him on the interview, he said that both sides are responsible. To me, I don't see how that makes sense. The Democrats didn't do the shooting. They're the ones who got shot. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I don't think that this particular shooting can be attributed to the media. Now, I do have a particular feeling that they don't ever publicize or they don't ever prioritize human suffering. They never talk about the 15 billion suffering farm animals. They never talk about the abuse of they never mention the 200,000 innocent Iraqis we killed. They just don't talk about, they don't really prioritize human suffering, nor do they kind of the news. And what's the news? I mean, I would think that 15,000 Africans dying today for lack of clean water would be news. So I don't really take much stock in them or really any of them, but I certainly know that they can be a little more inflammatory than the other networks.
Right,
and I do believe that I believe there's some smart Republicans inside somewhere. I like Michael Huckabee. I like Mike Huckabee, and I think he's a reasonable guy. And I think something interesting about my conversation with Roger Ailes came about. I said, the president has an agenda, and some of those things have to get done. I'm sure he's going to compromise with Republicans and get some of the things that they need done, and he'll be a good president in that America will govern itself, and he'll allow this kind of compromise or this kind of dialogue to go on, and it'll be fruitful. And when I said that, I said, for instance, he has to get prison reform. There are too many people going to jail for drugs, and they go in just diseased, and they come out criminal, and then they destroy communities. And Roger said, I kind of get that. I said, they should be going to rehab. We shouldn't be sitting in jail for 20 years for little bits of drugs. You may know or not know, I fought very hard to change the drug laws in New York State, and for many years, and we finally overturned those horrible Rockefeller drug laws. But still, men and women are sent to jail for being diseased for long periods of time, and Roger said something interesting. He said, well, just put them away somewhere away from the violent criminals and give them a TV. So you basically lock them up, but don't put them with the hardcore criminals. And I said, well, there's something. It's better than leaving them. And there was a compromise there, right? That was a conversation with a very conservative guy and with myself, and I felt that I'd accept that rather than leaving them the way they are. So that's the kind of thing the president's going to have to learn to do. And I think that the the Congress and the Senate can work, together and give this country some progress as opposed to just, being partisan all the time.
Hey, I can add to that compromise. As long as, we're putting these people away, the drug abusers and stuff, you put Rush Limbaugh, who's also a drug abuser, in that room, and we got a deal. See? Everybody comes together. So, and Russell, look, I couldn't agree more with you. And we're talking to Russell Simmons. He's now written a new book, Super Rich, A Guide to Having It All. I couldn't agree more with you about all the different problems in the world, and that's why we do charity water here at the Young Turks, and we try to.
Charity water? My man Scott.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and we raised a lot of money for them. Just did 3 wells because of all of our listeners contributing into that. So
that's fantastic. I love that charity.
All right, look at that.
Well, look, 15,000. We just mentioned 15,000 Africans. I mean, I would say just for lack of clean water, right? Could you say that?
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah.
Yesterday, it's horrible. So that's good that you do that work. And I know you guys. I probably am somewhere far to the left of you guys. I know you're a really progressive site, so. My personal opinions are, on my own, and I accept that, that people are reasonable but have different opinions. I at least accept that. But, yes, I wish Dennis Kucinich was the president, and he had a Congress and a Senate that supported him, and he had a Department of Peace and spent a lot less money on war, and that he created goodwill around the world. Like after 9/11, we had a great chance to promote world peace, I thought, and we fucked it up. Can I say that on
this
show?
Yes, you can.
Twisted it out crazy. So instead of promoting world peace, what do? We killed a bunch of innocent Muslims, and then want to know why the cycle of negativity comes, and then this country, as a result, has such a terrible fever of Islamophobia. And in this whole year, it's been more anti-Semitism, more Islamophobia, more black on white, white on black. I'm the chairman of the Foundation for Ethnic Understanding. I get all this research, and I can trace some of this new hate to some of the Republicans' rhetoric. And the Tea Party certainly has helped us to be divisive in ways that this country can't afford at this time.
Well, look, when you first said you were to the left of us, I was a little skeptical, but you proved it. Dennis Kucinich, Department of Peace. All right, there you go. You're not playing. You're a real progressive.
Well, I don't know. I'm a yogi. I mean, we believe in freedom over here. So
right.
I'm here at the Jivamukti Yoga Studio, by the way, and I came out of class late, and I missed the class that they wanted me, so I should be home doing the Skype, but I'm in my guru's office, which is really nice in here.
All right. Well, actually, let's talk about that, because you say that you doing yoga, etc., helped you to become, as the title of your book says, super rich. And I'm fascinated by that.
The word super rich, but it's a super rich is a code. I mean, I couldn't call my book Christ Consciousness, could I?
No.
Or I couldn't call it Nirvana or Samadhi.
No.
So those are the terms that different religions give. This space where you're in union with, and the idea of it, is like to be a heightened awareness. And if you go to work and you're very focused, you're like people like this. You ever read and you find silence and just like you don't even breathe because you're so focused.
Mm-hmm.
Or you ever get in a car accident and everything moves slow?
Right.
This is the kind of focus that promotes, really good givers. I mean, really good givers who are focused on giving, who are not so worried about receiving, but just great givers. And great givers are great getters. So there is a component to it about prosperity. I mean, Jesus taught 2 sermons, one to the masses, and they said, if you do this, you will get that. You will be able to pay the Romans their taxes. Don't worry. Don't be so anxiety-filled. This practice, these kind of practices will promote prosperity. But then to his disciples, he just said, do this. Live this way, and then they had faith. And so they lived by faith, and they were, of course, greater givers. And I give you examples like Leo Cohen. All he ever did was make everybody happy as an intern, and so he became the president. And Puffy, I used to go to Andre's office, and in my hand would be a cup of coffee. I didn't even ask for it. And Julie Greenwald, the president of Atlantic, she did everything everybody wanted all the time. She's just a great giver, and she was not trading with the world. She was a giver. So the book Super Rich is about this kind of consciousness that is attractive. It does help in the business world. If you go to work and you're very focused and giving, you're a great servant. The idea of a servant is, the president is a servant. He makes others better. And so this book is about that. And it kind of, it's about yoga. It's about the philosophies or the science that brings you to a space where you can be more focused. Not only because you happen to find a passion, but because every moment there's an opportunity to refocus. Not that you find yourself not breathing, but that you're dedicated to moving prayer. So the book is about that.
But Russell, a lot of people are going to be skeptical, right? I mean, look, let me give you one of your quotes here. What does it mean to be truly rich, or at least it comes out of, a summary of your book? Does it mean owning planes, yachts, and designer clothes? Does it mean getting anything you want at a moment's notice? I think a lot of people would say yes.
A lot of people will say a lot of things. It's true. A lot of people will say that, but no matter how big your mansion, you can sit your ass in one seat at a time. And the purpose of life is to learn to be comfortable in your seat. And that's just written over and over again. Each prophet told you. I mean, you may forget it, but I promise you it's what they tell you. So, the idea of being at ease and being in bliss, that's what we want. Be happy for the few minutes we're on Earth. And the toys are, they're not bad. You can play with them all. The more you hold on to them, the more they hurt you. But in general, if they run through your fingers, it's okay.
No, look,
but the real truth is, are you happy in this moment?
No,
and the idea, can you extend that happiness? And if you can, you make it to the finish line, you become, you have a better life, a more fulfilling, longer life. This is a fact.
Now, Russell, on the second part of that, as to, is it important to have a yacht or a plane, et cetera, et cetera?
I don't know. A lot of my rich friends had yachts in the same part. I was lucky enough to have a shack on the beach, and I could honestly say my shack on the beach killed their big boats.
Yeah, no
but
question.
That doesn't matter. I mean, obviously I had a shack on the beach. Some people can't get that. But I'm just suggesting to you that, there are many simple things, like being able to go to the beach, that kills sitting on a boat with a bunch of servants.
No. And,
listen. But that's, that's really, your happiness is inside you. There's nothing on the outside, I promise you, that will give you 1 degree more happiness. It might, for 1 second, play with your ego and make you think it, but then you'll instantly get a return, and that's a little bit of sadness for putting your investing in a thing and trying to use that as part of the stimulus for happiness. Happiness is inside.
Now,
money doesn't make you happy, but my suggestion to those who at this moment need to hear the first sermon is that happy does make you money. So
see, that's the part, though, I want to get to, though. See, look, I'm with you on the happiness, right? As long as you get to a state where you're, not worried about your family and paying the bills and putting food on the table, et cetera, then I think, all the other stuff, you're right, is not nearly as important as being comfortable, happy, finding inner peace, et cetera. I really do believe that 100%. Now, the question is, how do you, when you talk about how do you get rich, I think a lot of people are more skeptical. You know what I'm saying? I think people say, look, come on, Russell, did you really get rich because you had inner peace,
I got
or you
rich
gave?
by loving the shit I did. Listen to me very carefully. I used to play a record over and over in the studio. All I could think was, I can't wait till my friends hear this shit. Wait till they hear this record. They're going to go crazy. I remember the record playing on the radio for the first time. It was thrilling. I don't remember the check. I cannot remember when they paid me. And the things I bought from it, I don't remember. But I do remember making Rock Box. I remember making Suck MC. I remember the prayer. That was my work. And this is what you go. And this is not my reality I created. I mean, this comes out of Scripture, and it's not Scripture only, the yogic philosophy. It's in the Buddhist texts. It's in the Bible, in the Quran. It's in the Torah. It's not new. The prophets didn't all say this because it was bullshit. They said it because it was true. And so as I have more faith in these things, and as I study these things that I know in my heart are true, I put them down and made them simple. I made it, and people use the books. Like my last book, people walked up to me and said, it changed my life. I was a drug addict. I have my family back. I have a business. My life is different. That was the spark that gave me the encouragement to go the other way. In my book, there's a story of my, and this is why there's a meditation chapter. This is why there are chapters on the practices. The difference between the last book and this one is that this is more of a how-to book. But there's a story by one of the gurus here at this center where she says you find this nature of spiritual evolution. That means, as you move towards happiness, and I will say again, the road to enlightenment is paved with riches. But she said the nature of spiritual evolution is very simple. If you find yourself going the wrong way on the train, you get your ass up. Oh, she didn't use that language. You go to the other side, and you go the other way. That takes courage. And so in a minute of meditation, when you're more relieved and a little bit more fearless, you'll say, I don't have to be a sheep. I don't have to do what they told me. I don't have to abuse animals. I don't have to be supportive of war. I don't have to be supportive of, of these policies and these things that I think are hurtful. I mean, your own choices, of course. But this, you can really do you. And I think in the other title of my last book, Do You, the one that Oprah sold so many, people really want to be able to look inside and find the strength that's there and use it. They don't want to be moved around by what's on the outside. So that's just the reality.
All right, and so let me ask you one last question, because I'm always curious about this, and I hear exactly what you're saying. Look, the ability to, as you said, go and do something different when there's so much pressure to do something that everybody else is doing actually can definitely help you in business, and because then you're going to be at a place before other people are, as an example.
That's right.
And
that's
so,
correct.
and so, but I'm always curious, like, if you remember if there was an inflection point for you, like where you were struggling, you're doing your best, and then there was a point where it just took off. Do you remember what that point was?
Yeah, I can say that one of the most, I had many encouraging moments. The first one was when I remember getting on a plane as a child. I had my first record, Christmas Rapping, 1979. I landed in Holland, and I'd never been on a plane. I get off the plane, the guy said, what do you want, Mr. Simmons? I said, who the fuck, Mr. Simmons? He was like, wow, Mr. Simmons. And what would you like? I said, I'd like some cocaine and some pussy. I mean, I didn't know what I wanted, but obviously I wanted to have somebody who had some, it was beautiful. He said, what do you want, Mr. Simmons? And that kind of was encouraging. It's a moment on the outside that kind of struck home. It gave me courage. It reminded me that if I worked hard, that I could get, they'd call me Mr. Simmons. Another moment was after my first yoga class. I remember for one moment being at ease, and I used to think that the anxiety and the kind of nervous energy that I had, my name was Rush, that was what drove me, and that's what made me successful. But in that moment, I felt at ease. And my first response, I told my friend Bobby Shriver. And back then, 15, 16 years ago, there was 60 girls, one gay man, and me and Bobby. And I was like, wow, I love yoga. And I came out of there, but I felt so at ease. And I said, if I keep doing this stuff, I'm going to lose all my money. But then the real truth is, those moments of presence that I got from practicing regularly after that, really, as they extended or as I had more often, moments of presence, there was a more creative thought. There was better execution. And there was a better relationship with the world that was developing through my yoga practice and through eventually my meditation practice. And by reading the scripture and reaffirming what it was that made me feel good about the physical practice, it made me a happier person who was more at ease. And that ease, allows you the freedom to really be a good giver, which is what the book's about, being a greater contributor.
Russell, I could talk to you all day because you're the perfect young tourist guest because you're totally honest. And you don't know this, but I actually read an article about you, about how you do yoga at a certain time every day. It was either 1 or 1:30 in the afternoon or something like that. And that actually kind of inspired me because I try to exercise every day, not yoga. But and I find it so hard to find the time. And I thought, damn, Russell Simmons is so damn rich, and he makes time every day, and he's so busy. I wake up
every morning, I light a candle, and I meditate for 20 to 30 minutes. But at least 20 every single morning. I don't give a shit how late I think I was. I sit there. And then I go to work, and then I leave. It's not at 1:30. I leave whenever I can. Jivamukti, they have classes here from 7:30 in the morning till 9:30 at night. I take whatever class is available. All the teachers are very experienced, and all of them are deeply studied in scripture and in the anatomy, so they're all very, very talented teachers, and so I can go at any time during the day, but I make sure I have that time, so I can be in the middle of a contract, and if my class is coming up, they can keep the contract and the money. I'm going to class, and I do that every day, and I think you have to take time for yourself. If you want to be a good giver, you have to take care of what we call the Muladhara chakra, the first chakra. Not because you're selfish so much as you can't serve God or anyone if you don't take care of yourself. So you have to do that. That's why, not why I'm a vegan, but it helps that I don't eat animals in terms of my personal health. But in terms of my spiritual health, it is critical that I don't eat any animal product.
All right. So, Russell, one last final question for you because you mentioned it. Did you wind up getting that cocaine and pussy?
Instantly in Holland. That's the first thing they did. Okay, cocaine and pussy, that's very easy. The executive took me instantly and got me whatever the fuck I wanted. It was insane. You know, for me as a kid, that was my first experience of being Mr. Simmons. And it kind of stuck with me that if I worked hard and if I, you know, that I could, you know, evolve, I could change. And more things happened, and next thing you know, like, look at me now. In the last 22 years, 23 years, I'm 53, no cocaine, no, you know, I mean, just about nothing else. All my vices are gone. I still, you know, I'm male. And so Lord Buddha's last problem, I think, was was the thing with the girls. So I'm still struggling with that. But other than that, none of the other obvious vices have stuck with me. I got many vices, but the obvious ones, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't eat animal, I don't do a lot of stuff.
If you're going to hold on to a last vice, it should be girls. So, again,
I
we
guess.
agree. All right, the book is Super Rich, A Guide to Having It All. Of course, Russell Simmons is the author. Thank you so much for joining us, Russell. It was a great
conversation.
pleasure.
Thank you for having me on your show.
All right, absolutely.